street is still named Pleasant Grove. But as you go through here, at the city of Lansing, you'll see that little by little, little things keep being done that diminish the history of Malcolm X ever being here. The two other places that he lived, of course, there's nothing there about at those. We won't be going to those. But the two other places that Malcolm X lived, there's no marker or nothing there to even signify that he ever went there.
The place where his father
If
died.
you go into this school, I'm sorry, just 1 second. If you go into school, there's nothing on the walls that say Malcolm X is ever here. I just want you to know that. I know we can't do that today, but if we could, you would go in this school, there's nothing on the walls, there's no plaque. Malcolm X once went here, the great man, none of that. When you go to a number of schools in Detroit, I've noticed that they have stuff on the walls of some of the people who went there. You go to Cass, they got some of the people who graduated from Cass. But there's nothing.
This school is predominantly what?
Huh?
This school is predominantly what? Black, white, mixed?
Well, it was predominantly white when Malcolm went here. I'm thinking it's kind of mixed today. But probably still more whites than black. But mixed. More than whatever the population, you know, represents. So it might be 30% black. You know, so it's not like it's not like five black kids by themselves in a sea of white. You know, it's a significant number of black students who go here.
It was like that. It was predominantly white.
It's predominantly white, but it's got a significant number of black people. Now, when Malcolm went here, it was predominantly white, and it was Malcolm and a couple of other people. Right. And that's it.
How long he went here?
He graduated from this school. Malcolm, this was an elementary school. He made it all through elementary. K through 6, yeah, K through 6. So he made it all the way through this school. Yeah, this is the only school Malcolm finished. We went from kindergarten all the way up.
The lawyer incident happened?
No, that's in high school. So when he's here, he was 9th grade when that happened. When he's here, that's when his father's murdered while he's here. And so he finishes here when he's living with the foster family. He walks past his brother and sister's house. They're grown, they're adults. Hilda and Wilfred are adults. So he passed them that's why they were able to stay in the house. Everybody else had to get sent to different places. But his oldest two siblings are grown, they're adults. You can't make them go anywhere. So they got to stay in the home. After Louise was committed, they still stayed there. So he saw them on his way to school when he would pass their house on his way to school. So he would see them throughout the day when he was staying with them. After he graduates here, he's moved to Mason, Michigan. Actually, he doesn't move to Mason, Michigan immediately. He goes to another home in Lansing, and then after that, he ends up in Mason, Michigan. I believe that Lansing has done all it can to erase the memory of Malcolm X from Lansing, and that if it wasn't for grassroots people who were organizing in Lansing, and particularly in the 90s, that marker wouldn't have been there, and whatever little other history of Malcolm X in Lansing wouldn't be here. There's all the sites that we're going to be going to now, there's no vestige that Malcolm was ever there. But the activists that started in the 90s, particularly the Mama Frida, who started the charter school here, and you now have El Haj, you have Shabazz charter school here. They named it that to bring back the history that Malcolm X was in Lansing. So there's only one African Center charter school in Lansing now. There used to be two, Sankofa Shule and Shabazz Academy. Shabazz Academy is still here. And so that's the students at Shabazz, they're well aware of everywhere Malcolm was. But outside of the students at Shabazz, your regular people in Lansing, your non-Shabazz people in Lansing have no clue of the fact that they live in the neighborhood or next door or went to the same school or whatever that Malcolm went to. The foster home that he lived in, that he walked to this school from, it became a GM plant, and now it's just an abandoned site, abandoned demolition site. Big old vacant lot with a gate and a little old warehouse. home of the foster parents. It's like a block away from Malcolm X. Earl Little was killed right here on this intersection. He was killed by members of the Black Legion. And I already told you earlier that he went out that night against Louise Little's wishes. She just felt what many people call a premonition that something bad was going to happen. She told him not to go out, but they needed the money. So he went out to get the money that night, and he was killed. A streetcar ran straight this way, and then another streetcar ran this way. So you get off one streetcar, and then you catch the other streetcar probably on that side of the road at that time. So his head lay right here, or maybe in the middle somewhere, but the streetcar that took it off was coming this way, or going the opposite way. But it was east and west, north and south. So the cycle of murder in Malcolm's life, in the Malcolm family, begins here with Earl Little's murder in 1937. And of course it continues with Malcolm's assassination in 1965. And then with Betty Shabazz's killing of her being burned and dying from burns in 1997. And then with Malcolm Shabazz's murder last year in Mexico. And so here is where I want all of us, I feel like this is a good spot as any, all of us to first envision and think of people that you got a problem with and situations you wish you could do something about. So people in your family who you ain't speaking to, friends that used to be your close friends, but you can't stand them now.
Watch your back, watch your back.
You can't stand situations that still trouble you to this day and still on your heart. I want you to think about those things one last time, and whatever it is that about those things that's causing you all that pain, I want you to release it here. I'm giving you time to think of those things right now. Because the cycle of murder in Malcolm's family, many of us are living out those cycles in our own, and we don't see it because we in it. We got people in our family we don't talk to. It's all kind of problems going on in our household that's connected to that. This is the time for you to think on those things one last time and let it go. Because it's killing you one way or another. Physically killing you, spiritually killing you, mentally killing you, psychologically killing you, emotionally killing you. You can't move to the next level because something is holding you back and you don't realize what it is. This is the time to let that go. Right here on Michigan Avenue in Detroit, we gonna let it go. In the spirit of Earl Little, who gave us Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz and so many other things that came out of that. But without Malcolm, we wouldn't have Chokwe Lumumba. Without Chokwe, we wouldn't have the Republic of New Africa. Without Chokwe, we wouldn't have Mama Nubi. Without Albertine, we wouldn't have Mama Hanifa. So this is the time to let it all go. And go to the next stage in peace, with our spirits intact and our minds right. We're not gonna hold on to whatever it is that's been destroying us all this time, and we just haven't been aware of it. Ashe.